Hey Pod fam, welcome to my case study presentation, The Power of Sharing Your Story. This is a case study on how mental health advocates use the power of storytelling via podcasting to break down stigma, raise awareness, and provide support for the individuals struggling with mental health. Why is this important? Why am I sharing this? I'll get into it, but first of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Paula Mulamola and I'm the host of Talk Shit with P. Talk Shit with P is a platform. It's a safe space where people can share their shit through encouraging and inspiring each other. So a brief history on how Talk Shit with P came about. For those who know me, you know the story, you have heard it, but some of you don't know me. So Talk Shit with P started in a dark time. I battle with depression. I'm a mental health advocate, and I was going through a rough time, and that's how Talk Shit with became. It started as a distraction, as a coping mechanism, as a cure, and turned out to really become a safe space. And through that journey, I learned the power of sharing my story. I learned of the power of my voice, and I learned that my voice does matter. So what does this have to do with podcasting? Believe it or not, I am a firm believer in that podcasting cured my mental health. Yes, it might sound crazy to you, but it really isn't. When I started podcasting, I didn't care about the numbers or the downloads. I was more scared of allowing myself to be vulnerable and how the public will take it. And believe it or not, my first episode, till to date, it's one of those episodes I can't listen to, but if anybody wants to get to know me or to know where I am coming from, I normally send them to that episode because I was the most vulnerable I can be. Now imagine having to be that open about yourself, your life, and sending it out to the public, to the strangers. And we all know social media isn't always pretty, so there's always that receiving backlashes. There's people who are going to ask you why you're putting your business on the streets. But I knew how much alone I felt when I was dealing with mental health, with my depression. Especially coming from Africa, people don't talk about mental health, people don't talk about depression. People, when you try to share your story, when you try to share your journey, people cut you off. People tell you, at least you have this, or you got this. So despite all that, I knew that I needed to speak up so I can find my community, so I can create the support that I need. And through speaking up, that's what I got. I ended up having a community that really supported me, that was for me, that encouraged me, that pushed me, where I could be myself, my authentic self. And that's all it comes to. I wanted Talk Shit with P to be a place where you can be vulnerable, you can be authentic, and you can feel safe. And I have been able to create that by being that through my podcasting. If you look through all my episodes, most of them are mental health related in different works. I've had my parents come on and talk about them raising me in mental health. I've had my brother share his journey with drugs. I've had my sister talk about postpartum. And in the beginning, I wanted it to be open. And now as I'm niching down, because I'm a creator, I'm learning that being a creator can also come into play with your mental health. Your mental health matters through whatever walks of life you are. So I wanted to have this presentation to remind you that the power of sharing your story, you might think it's not helping people, but the amount of feedback I get from strangers or from people who I even know, them telling me how much this mattered, how much they needed to hear this, keeps me moving. So I want to share that message so you can do the same for the people in your side. So if you're out there and you think your story doesn't matter, I'm here to remind you that it does. Look at all these, and these are not all, these are the ones I could find. Clearly I need to do a better job. Trust me, you sharing your story is another way of healing. So I want to remind people that you can be an ally, or you can be that person just by being vulnerable with your people, your community, by being authentic. Be authentically you. Don't care about, oh, people are not gonna like me, or people are not. The right people, the right tribe, the right community will find you. So by you being vulnerable and authentic, you're creating a safe space for yourself and the people that come around you. So don't sleep on your power of the power of your story. Don't sleep on being your authentically self. Don't sleep on being vulnerable, because they'll come into play. These three things are the only way. Thank you for listening to my 5-minute case study presentation. I hope you learned something from it. And with that, I want to say, let's keep being authentically ourselves. Let's keep being vulnerable, and let's continue providing a safe space, not just for other people, but for ourselves. If you want to get in touch with me, find me on any and every social media as Talk Shit with P, and or tap the barcode below and you can find all my other interesting information. Enjoy Podfest, y'all.